Hey guys, welcome to our show. This is called Teen Speak, and today we have some very special guests. Right beside me, we have Sam. In the middle, we have Danny. In beautiful red, we have Tweed. Today's first topic, we're going to talk about technology and how it affects our school. Sam, how would you say technology has helped improve education?
Technology has helped improve education in a variety of different ways, which has been very beneficial for the students.
Okay. What would you say is one of the benefits of technology?
To me, one of the best benefits of technology would have to be communication, because nowadays students can just send their work through emails to teachers, and most students now started using a program called Dropbox. Dropbox is a program where you can just upload your work, drag or drop it. Pretty much it's a much simpler way of sending your work into the teacher.
I see what you're saying. So, do you think this technology is helping society go paperless?
Well, with nowadays technology, definitely the society will go paperless, because most students are just starting to turn in their work through emails, and most students are starting to take online classes where we don't use any paper at all. And for example, Dropbox, where students are just turning in work without even printing anything, and teachers are getting the work, which is a big important.
I see what you're saying. You say some valid points. Now, Danny, I want to ask you, what are some of the benefits of having so many technology classes to choose from?
Well, the benefits of having so many technology classes in school gives children the ability to learn more about technology, since technology is going to be our future.
I see. So what would you say you have learned in your technology classes?
Well, in my technology class, I have learned how to use GIMP, which is a photo editing software, and how to produce music and videos.
Well, that sounds very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's go to Tweed for his point of view. Tweed, what would you say is the convenience of an iPad in school?
The convenience of iPads is that it can replace books and it's more easily mobile than the laptops. It's also more convenient than the laptop because it takes less time to boot up.
Interesting. How are the iPads helpful in the classes that these students take?
The iPads are helpful in classes because they have many great apps that connect the teachers to the students. For example, Edmodo. It's just like the popular website known as Facebook. Teachers and students can post statuses, send messages, and even upload pictures. And also, if a kid misses a class because he's absent because he was sick, teacher can put the notes on Edmodo and he won't miss the notes.
Interesting. So why do you think schools should keep on giving iPads out?
Well, I believe that if the schools quit giving kids the iPads, it will cripple the kids in their classes.
So, going back to you, Sam. You said that because of Dropbox, it's much easier. How would you get into that? Do you have to go to a certain what website? Give me how you would make one.
Well, first you have to go to the website www.dropbox.com, and you have to create an account, which is free, and you can either link it to your computer where you have an icon to go directly, or you can go to the site every time. And pretty much what it is whenever you're done with any work you've done, you just go to the site, log in, and upload whatever work it is that you've done, and it goes directly to your teacher.
Interesting. Now, Danny, I want to ask you a question. What are some of the projects that you have worked in your technology classes?
Well, in my technology class, we have learned how to create Valentine backgrounds for people who want to do their Valentine letters to people on the TVs inside of the school, inside the cafeteria. We have done various posters, making online. We've done Black History Month posters, and we've done business cards. A lot we've learned in our technology class.
All right, now let me ask you something else. Is there anything that y'all do with it after you guys are done? Do y'all display it anywhere?
Yes, sir, yes. What we do with our projects we work on inside the class, we send them via Dropbox, and our teacher puts them on the TVs that display inside the lunchroom and throughout the school, so people can see our work that we've done in class.
That sounds great. Now, Tweed, I have another question for you. How long is it since the students at school have gotten iPads?
Well, they just started it a couple of years ago, so to put a time on it, probably 2 years ago, they started giving iPads to only seniors. And I know a lot of middle schoolers, they also get the iPads. But unfortunately, freshmen, sophomore, and juniors do not get them yet.
Okay. do you feel like giving the students iPads, how would you say, hinders their learning experience? Do you think that they would rather play games on the iPad than instead of listening to the teacher in the actual lesson?
See, and that kind of falls back on the teacher's responsibility to keep up with their students. If the teacher is using the right ways to teach, the kids will be interested in learning that and using the apps on the iPads to learn instead of playing games.
So do you feel like maybe they should put restrictions on certain things that you can go to in the iPad?
Yes.
Like what?
The marketplace, well, not the marketplace, but any games, yes, they should put a restriction on games so that way students can learn and not play games.
You, Danny, that talked about how technology is the future, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, it was.
What do you think are some great jobs opening up because of these new technology coming out?
Well, they've got many jobs that involve technology in the world now, such as marketing, selling stuff online. That's a new big job that they have out there. There's many different. There's software designers. You've got hardware designers for technology.
All right, so Danny, have you ever used this Emoto thing that Tweed was talking about?
Yes, sir, I have, actually. I really like it because if I'm not at school one day and I check on Edmodo, I get to find out what I'm missing. I can also connect with my peers, ask them questions, what's due and whatnot. But yeah, I really do like Edmodo. It kind of reminds me of Facebook.
All right, so what would you say are some of the similarities and differences between Edmodo and the actual Facebook?
Well, the difference is, of course, you can't add anyone. You can only add the people that is inside of your class. Such as if you're in like a Spanish class, you can only add the people that are in your Spanish class. You can't just add a random person. And there's you can't post videos and whatnot on that, like Facebook and write posts.
Saves us time from the cat videos, huh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I agree with you. Another thing is that the teachers, they've given privileges to the students to start using cell phones during lunch, which kind of helps students and teachers. Like, less students are starting to use their phones during class because they know they can use them during lunch.
Yeah, I agree.
Which is helping both the students and the teachers. What do you think, Dylan?
Well, I try to stay away from all the phones and stuff. I mainly stick to social media like Facebook, Twitter, even Edmodo to learn my information.
All right. I agree.
That's an interesting way to look at it. Would you say that the new sites like maybe Instagram and Twitter and what's the other one, Tumblr, do you think all those are great ways to stay in touch with everything? Do you even think that TV is going obsolete? Because nowadays you can just look up there and you will know like what's the weather outside, what's happening outside.
Yes, and one of the reasons why TVs are not obsolete yet is because they still show you great special effects that movies and TV shows have. And apps like Instagram and Tumblr and Twitter, some of those you can upload pictures on it and it can be great examples of photography classes. Let's say if a friend is trying to help another friend with a photography class, they don't have to be right there with them. They can show an example of a great picture and special effects.
Yeah, I agree with those. That makes sense.
We talked about how communication is better with your teachers and your peers, but do you feel like you're losing the human aspect? Like you don't really get to see them face to face?
Well, that depends, because if you're taking an online class, you're not really going to see your instructor much, because I'm taking an online class, psychology, right now, and the only thing, our instructor, all we have is like a photo of her. Other than that, the only way we can communicate to her is either she has her number up there, we can text her, or email her.
That leads me to another question. Do you feel like online classes are necessary, or do you feel like you would much rather prefer the teacher be there?
Well, I feel like that depends, because me personally, online classes are necessary because people need to learn to be independent instead of depending on their teacher on everything, and need to learn to like do their work. Sometimes, even if they don't know something, they need to figure out another way to figure it out.
So what would you do if, say, you really didn't know the answer to a problem?
Well, you could always email your instructor, text her, and they get back with you as soon as possible.
Do you feel like an online teacher job is just as serious as a teacher being right here in the classroom?
Yes. I feel like they're both as same because it's necessary for both teachers to explain to their students and help them succeed through the class.
Interesting. Tweed, do you take any online classes?
Not at the moment, but I do believe that online classes are great because let's say if only being able to have 4 classes a day, if you fail a class, a required class, you can take your 4 classes still in the daytime, then at nighttime, if you have nothing to do, you can take that online class right then and there in your personal convenience.
Okay, that's a good point. Back to you, Sam. Do you think that online classes are necessary in college as well?
Yeah, I feel like online classes are necessary in college because they're going to help the college students become more independent, because the whole point of college is you go on by yourself and learn to become more independent, get a job. What do you think,
Danny?
Yeah, I personally do like online classes because it gives students the ability to work at their own pace instead of feeling rushed, and if they get behind in class, they have to raise a hand and ask for a teacher's help, and that just throws everyone behind. There are also some disadvantages to an online class, such as if you have homework to do over the weekend or that's due on the weekend, chances of you finishing that homework over the weekend are slim to none, because most of the time people are doing something over the weekend. So it's kind of has its advantages and disadvantages as well.
So Danny, do you feel like America is now more independent on technology than ever?
Yes, I do, since that we are more in the future now. America has a lot more technology now, and I feel like a lot more things are being done over the computer, over the internet, which also makes it easier to access, like say bank records. Instead of driving all the way to the bank, you can just get your statements on your computer.
See, now that reminds me of something I read. I read that the United States is actually 25th, in the 25th rank of smartest countries in the world. You know, we're behind China, Japan, Korea, Canada. Sam, do you feel like, how do you think we should improve our education? I mean, obviously we hear that we're technologically advanced, but then, you know, you read the statistics and you see that really we're not as smart as we think. How do you think we should?
Well, that goes back to what Danny said about there being disadvantages and advantages of online classes. Well, there's also disadvantages and advantages of technology, and America is becoming more dependent on technology, whereas students now are using calculators on mostly everything. If you go into a class, most students are always using a calculator when they could become less dependent on a calculator and try to work it out on paper.
That's interesting. Tweed, do you feel like our ancestors, they were doing it the right way, or are we just taking the easy way out by using technology?
I think our ancestors did it a great way, considering what this country has become was built off of our ancestors' work. And I do feel like technology is impairing America's education, because while look at all the other countries, those countries are, a lot of them don't use as much technology as we do, and statistics never lie.
Interesting. Well, that's about it for today, folks. I want to thank my guests, Tweed, Danny, Sam, and of course I'm Keoki. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.